Welcome to Windy Handicrafts. Begin by tearing strips of wool batting about the width of your hand. Divide the strip a few times until you get a nice thin strip of wool batting. Take up a small ball for head filling to begin rolling your ball of wool. Wrap your strip of wool over itself, keeping the wool pile in one hand and compressing the ball in the other. By applying tension to the wool, you will create a more dense ball. You want your ball to be very firm with not much give. Add more strips by holding the end in place and wrapping the strip around a few times in one direction. Then keep wrapping in different directions, being sure to hold the wool tight to make the ball firm. Keep marking the ball until it measures between 12 and 13 inches in circumference. I like my finished ball to be a bit of an oval shape, as this is more natural for a doll head. Cut a 25 cm length of tubular bandage. Using a sewing needle and some flesh-toned thread, make a basting stitch around one of the openings. Leave a tail at the beginning of the basting stitch, and when you've finished stitching all the way around, tie the two ends of the thread together. This will close the opening of the bandage. Tie this off with a double knot. Take 4 strips of batting, about 30 centimeters long and as wide as your hand, and lay them in a star shape. Place the ball in the center of the star and pull the strips of wool up and around the ball and hold in place. Insert your other hand into the tubular bandage that you sewed closed. Grab the ball that has been covered in wool. Pull the bandage down and grip firmly at the base of the ball. Take a length of your upholstery thread and wrap it tightly around the base of the ball about 5 times, but don't tie this off. This will be the top of the neck. Cut a long length of upholstery thread. Anchor one end of the thread to your non-dominant hand by wrapping it around your pointer and middle finger a few times. Wind the thread horizontally around the ball just below the center point. This will be your eye line. Wrap the thread about 5 to 7 times, pulling tighter each time you wrap. As you keep wrapping the thread, it will begin to grip to itself and will hold its tension when you've pulled it as tight as it will get. Tie off into a double knot. If you want your cheeks to be rounder, Vu can take a bit of wool and roll it into a small oval shape. We'll use this to add some volume to the lower portion of the face. Choose which side of the ball you would like to be the front of the head, unwrap the thread that is around the neck, lift up the bandage and the wool strips and insert that little roll of wool just underneath the eye line. Make sure your wool and the bandage are pulled really taut over the head and grip firmly under the chin. You may have to readjust a few times to get the right shape, and that's okay. This time, use your crochet hook to straighten out the eyeline if you need to. Using your dissolvable fabric marker, make a mark in the center of the eyeline. Now, still on the eyeline, make a mark where you would like one of the ears to sit. Measure the distance between the center mark and the ear mark and make a mark on the other side, the same distance from the eyeline. Measure from the base of the head up to the ear marks and make sure that they are the same. Take a long length of your upholstery thread. Anchor your thread to the first ear mark and tie off, leaving a tail about 20 centimeters long. Make a few stitches over the ear mark in a cross pattern. Make sure you are stitching over the thread that you used to tie off the eye line. Insert your long doll-making needle into the first ear mark and pull through to the ear mark on the opposite side. Make a few stitches in a cross pattern, just like you did at the first ear mark. Then pull the thread back through the head to the first ear mark. Bring your thread under the chin and up to the second ear mark, making a stitch under the chin to anchor in place. Stitch behind the second ear mark to anchor the thread in place and bring it up to the top of the head. Anchor the thread at the top of the head with a stitch and repeat so that the thread is essentially wrapped around the head twice. Pull tight and tie off using the tail end of the initial stitch that you made. Use your crochet hook to pull the back of the eye line down to the base of the head. Invisible stitch across the outside edges of the eye line to create a nice shape. It's important to create a sturdy neck, as this will help hold the head up. It's like the spine of your doll. Take some strips of wool batting and wrap them very tightly around the neck. Use your felting needle to gently felt the neck into place. If you wrap the wool tightly, you shouldn't need to felt that much, just enough to firm up the neck and keep everything in place. Using your dissolvable fabric marker, make an oval shape about 1 centimeter wide where you want the nose to be. If you were to divide the portion of the head underneath the eye line into thirds, I would position the nose at the bottom of the first third and the mouth at the bottom of the second third. I have drawn the mouth for demonstrative purposes. Take your flesh-toned embroidery thread and anchor with a knot at the center of the nose. Satin stitch vertically across the nose, then stitch over again with horizontal stitches. Finally, stitch across the nose vertically again, keeping your stitches very close together and making sure the thread doesn't get twisted.